Well, let's get more now. We can speak to Bishop Paul-Marwan, who is the eparchial bishop of the Maronite Catholics in Canada. He joined us, in fact, from Beirut. Your Excellency, thank you very much indeed for joining us here on Arabiya English.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for hosting me today.
Thank you. We saw some pictures of crowds gathering along the roads to welcome the Pope and then ultimately to say goodbye to the Pope when he left.
Yes.
How successful do you think this visit was by the Pope overall?
It is very obvious that the visit of Pope Leo XIV is very successful. The fact is, on all sides of the roads, wherever he visited in the last 2-3 days, hundreds of people were gathered. The schedule of the visit of the Pope, the places he visited have their indication, starting, first of all, by visiting the presidential palace. And this marked the visit of a head of a state, that's the state of the Vatican, to the head of the state of Lebanon. But at the presidential palace, the Pope addressed the diplomatic corps and the official politicians of Lebanon. And he insisted on two matters in his address. First of all, on the common good. And the second is working together toward peace in Lebanon and in the region in the Middle East. Beside that, the next day, the Pope met all the religious leaders and the monks and the nuns and the priests in Lebanon and the region. And one of the strong messages he sent to this crowd is to remain good witnesses to the presence of the Church and to the presence of the love of Christ and charity in a hostile region and in the world, and the importance of being good witnesses of Christianity in the Muslim world is to live by our brother Muslims and continue to serve them in any way we can. In the evening yesterday, he met with the youth. And as I said, he spoke to them in their own language, in Arabic, addressed them on many instances. And two important messages he gave them. First of all, to remain attached to the ground of Lebanon. Don't leave. Don't get into the diaspora. And the second, that to be artisans of peace and to hold peace and be close to their neighbors. Also, yesterday, there was a meeting for all the leaders of the religious communities in the country. As you may know, Lebanon has 18 different confessions. And today, in the Big Mass, there was about 120, 130,000. The Pope told the Lebanese to stay close to each other and to indeed be partisan of peace. And he promised as well to do his best to help avoid and move Lebanon away from a strict war and work towards peace in Lebanon and in the region.
Okay, well, I was going to...
With that, I gave you a general overview of the visit of the Pope.
Absolutely. Lots of colour in the picture that you painted there. Yeah. I would just ask you very quickly... go ahead.
I would like to mention one important thing, or two important things in the visit of the Pope. The first one is that visiting Lebanon is a part of the first apostolic visit of Pope Leo XIV, Turkey and Lebanon. The second, and it's to bring to the light the role of the patriarchates of Antioch and Constantinople as being the two key patriarchates that worked very hard during the establishment of Christianity in the church 2,000 years ago. And the second point is to pinpoint and put the light on the role of Lebanon in being a model of conviviality, of dialogue between the different religious groups and different ethnic groups and different civilizations, Christianity and Islam. And Lebanon as being a crossroad of dialogue between Christianity and Islam and between the East and the West. As John Paul II said, Lebanon is not a country, it's more than a country. It's a message for the West as it is for the East.
Okay, well, thank you very much for setting the scene for us. I want to ask you for some more details, because you said the Pope, who is, by the way, for the benefit of our viewers, he's a new Pope and he's an American national, and it was widely expected he would speak English quite a lot during this visit, as opposed to Italian, which is what popes usually speak. But you say he spoke Arabic as well. What did he say?
Look, in most of the gatherings we had, the Pope spoke French. Yesterday, addressing the religious leaders and the monks and the nuns, he spoke in French. Addressing the youth, in a part he spoke in French, then he addressed them in a word in English. Today, during the Mass, he did the Mass in French and the address in French. And at the end of the Mass, when he sent a strong message about Lebanon, he did it in English. So basically, he went in respect to the second important language in Lebanon, that's the French. For the Arabic, it was more a cordial address, a getting closer address, telling the people that he feels with them. He wanted to win their hearts and be part of their culture. And this is when he addressed them, in key important salutes, I would say, in Arabic. So it was mostly saluting in Arabic more than the address itself.
Give me an example, Your Excellency, of a couple of the salutes he gave.
In Arabic, I would say, Assalamu ma'akum. And then, the people react to that. During the Mass, he said, Assalamu li jami'ikum. Peace be with you all. So on every corner, when he used to exhort them with a salute in Arabic, you can tell how the crowd was really, jumping to answer him and to shout and cry, Viva el Papa, Viva el Papa. It means Vive the Pope, Vive the Pope. So it was very nice. It was basically like an electric vibe in the crowd that brought them to really cry, Viva el Papa, Viva el Papa. And it was this cry, and the sound was a sort of commissioning the Pope to really talk in their name on the international platforms to safeguard Lebanon and to bring peace to Lebanon and keep that peace, as the Lebanese have really had enough of the war that's going on since 1975, I would say.
Right, and you're making it sound as though he brought a lot of hope to people in Lebanon, a lot of optimism.
He definitely did.
They need it, don't they?
His last message today on the seafront of Beirut, his message was very, very strong, as he said that he's going to take it upon himself on the international political platform, to really plead for peace in Lebanon and in the region.
Your Excellency, of course, a lot of Lebanese people are not Christian, and I'm just wondering what people from other religious groups and sects, even Christians who are not Catholics, what do you think they think of the Pope? What sort of an impression did he give them of who he is, and how excited were they about his arrival?
Look, let me tell you that living in Lebanon is a door to see how Christians and Muslims live side by side. Many villages in Lebanon are mixed villages, where you see Christians and Muslims are living next to each other. Many Lebanese from different religious backgrounds have businesses together, are partners in businesses, or work in the same companies. Although the war has differentiated the Lebanese and split them into different regions, every time peace comes, the Lebanese blend together. What they see, what they think of the Pope, this is the fourth visit for a Pope to Lebanon. The first one was in 1964, Pope Paul VI. Then John Paul II, 1997, then Benedict XVI in 2012, and now 2025, Pope Leo XIV. I need to tell you that on the exit of the airport of Beirut, as the airport sits in a dense Islamic area, you could see how Muslims and women who have their veil are on the streets with their kids screaming, Viva el Papa, Viva el Papa. Lebanese are well known to really cheer for each other. The problem of Lebanon is a political problem. It's in the politics where we have the differences. If we leave the people to go by what they feel, you would see all the Lebanese together. As a matter of fact, the Pope was very surprised to see in downtown Beirut, in the meeting, on the religious dialogue meeting, the 18 heads of the 18 confessions in Lebanon sitting in there and expressing and pleading for peace for Lebanon, and explaining to the Pope and speaking about the experiences how Christians and Muslims live together. The Pope was very surprised with that.
Yeah, Your Excellency, I wanted to ask you about the interfaith dialogue that took place, because there were meetings, weren't there? And you've mentioned this with Sunni, Shia, Druze communities. I want to ask you, what's the value, do you think, of that kind of interfaith exchange and dialogue?
Look, let me tell you something. No one is trying to bring the other in his camp. Definitely, but at least be able to find areas of common values. And let's remember that that Christians and Muslims have in common many texts that come from the Old Testament, and all of us recognize that. So basically, the work, the dialogue that is taking place is the dialogue of life, which means that I need to respect the other where he is. The other has to respect me, or is invited to respect me where I am. And that in the same country, we can exist together, we can live together, we can build a good society together. We can be who we are, without trying to push the other to come in my camp or go in his camp, and yet be able to establish country. Lebanon was like that since, I would say, the 17th, 18th century. The Christian and Muslim and Druze were living together. Every time there was a problem, it was the problem of the others on our territory. And as a matter of fact, the problem of Lebanon today is not the problem of the Lebanese. It's the situation of the Palestinians that were expelled out of their country. They need to find a place for them. They thought Lebanon could be the best place. Then the Lebanese fought the war for that. Then Lebanon received 2 million Syrians from our brother Syrians from different denominations. In a country of 4 million people, we still have 2 million refugees, not to speak of many refugees that came from Iraq, from Egypt, from Sudan, from different countries. So basically, the problem of Lebanon is not the problem of the Lebanese. Yes, I need to acknowledge that parts of the Lebanese have gotten involved into it, and especially where we have parts of Lebanon, of the Lebanese population, to go and abide by orders of different countries around us. Some of the Lebanese went with the Syrian regime, so they took orders from the Syrian regime and played to be able to find the space for them in the country and play a role. Other, like Hezbollah, were very close to the Iranian regime and became part of a military hand for the Iranian regime. And so we have problem with some of the Lebanese who are not fully for Lebanon, but I would say most of the Lebanese, on a general basis, 80%, 90% of the Lebanese want peace, want to live together in a beautiful space of conviviality. I'm hoping that that we can arrive one day to this fact. The problematic in the area that Lebanon has is that we have, Israel on the border of Lebanon, and Israel want to make peace with all the countries, the Arab countries, to make peace with the Arab countries, but they cannot make peace while taking pieces of the country, of the other countries. So now there is talks about that, and we are hoping that the entire area will go now into a new trend where all countries in the region can sit down on the same level with the same capacities without one country pushing down the throat of other countries, their policies and their dynamics, and be able to come up with some sort of a peace so we can wave away, especially from Lebanon, a big war and a full destruction of the country.
Right, and of course there has been ongoing violence between Israel and Hezbollah during the course of during the course of several years, but in particular in the last year, even during the Pope's visit.
This choice of the war with Israel is not the choice of all the Lebanese, nor it is the choice of the Lebanese government.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to bring to the picture.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I'm just wondering, how much did the Pope mention the situation with regards to Israel? Did he mention Israel at all?
At least in the meetings where I am, and I've been to most of the meetings, he did not mention Israel, but he insinuated in some way the importance to see as well Israel moving one step forward toward being a partisan of peace.
One of the people that the Pope met was Mohammed Rad, who is one of Hezbollah's most senior members of parliament. I gather they met during the visit to the presidential palace. How do you think Hezbollah views the Pope and viewed this whole papal visit?
Look, let me tell you, in 2012, I was myself the coordinator of the visit of Pope Benedict XVI. And as the Pope exited the airport, thousands of our brothers and sisters, the Shiite, and many of them were from members or partisans of Hezbollah, were on the streets, asked by Hezbollah themselves, because these people took order from Hezbollah to go out and to greet the Pope. Never in the history of Lebanon, the Hezbollah were against the Pope or against the Christians and as such. However, we must admit that they have their ideology, they have their plans, they have their way of looking at things, and on some of these issues, many Lebanese are not happy with it. So mobilizing the people and living with the Christians is one thing, and implementing policies or taking order from Iran is a totally different thing. But they've never been against the church or being in proximity with the Christians. As a matter of fact, we have one or two Lebanese political parties who are in the majority Christians are allies with Hezbollah. And they allied in political action, in parliament, in voting for parliamentarians. So this is very clear, very obvious. Now, is everybody in accordance with that or happy with that? Some are yes, some others are no.
Well, the United States is definitely not happy with this, and they've been calling on Lebanon's leaders to disarm Hezbollah, a very difficult task, I know. Do you think the Pope, being an American and being the first American Pope...
Would you allow me to say that now, at this stage, yes, also these Christian political parties have asked Hezbollah to really disarm and give to the Lebanese army the authority and the responsibility to safeguard Lebanon and to protect Lebanon, and give the Lebanese army all the trust they need in order to protect the country and be the only military umbrella in the country. So yes, definitely, this has been said with all respect to the members of Hezbollah, with all respect to the alliances that are there, but definitely all Lebanese now, but Hezbollah, want that the Lebanese army would be in charge of protecting the country and have exclusivity of the power of the military fire.
Right, and of course the demands are coming from President Trump in Washington that Hezbollah disarm. And my question to you is, given that Pope Leo is an American, first and foremost, I'm wondering whether he can perhaps help in any way. Could he serve as an interlocutor between the Lebanese government and Washington in bringing about that goal, managing the expectations on both sides?
My information tells me that the diplomacy of the Vatican is at proximity with the diplomacy of the United States. All true. So having Pope Leo XIV as the head of the Vatican and the Vatican diplomacy, definitely it will help, since he knows the mentality and he knows the way, and he has canals to be able to talk to the White House. But we need to be careful and to pinpoint that the Vatican, since the beginning of the war in Lebanon, has put in and all forward a very distinct and fine diplomacy where Lebanon is being concerned. Definitely the Pope, and that's my feeling, especially when I saw him at the end of the Mass, standing there on the top of the altar waving, and you have that feel that it's like he's leaving, but he has left a piece of him in Lebanon from what he has seen. That definitely he's gonna push himself and more of the Vatican diplomacy to work in favor of the peace in Lebanon, for Lebanon, and in the region, and for the region. Let's remember that Christians are not only present in Lebanon and are leaving Lebanon. Also, we are seeing what's happening in Syria, in Turkey, in Iraq, in Egypt, all over the Middle East. And it's in the interest of the Arabs and the Muslim countries to protect the Christians and protect Christianity in this part of the world. And definitely the Vatican diplomacy is going to be exhorted by Pope Leo XIV to put more energy into this.
And just to bring our conversation to a conclusion, do you think the Pope liked Lebanon? Do you think he enjoyed his visit?
I need to tell you that very few would come to Lebanon and do not love Lebanon. I would start by diplomatic corps. You know that many diplomats that have served their countries and countries members of the G8, I would say, or the G12, after their retirement have come back, bought homes or lands in Lebanon and built their homes, and they live in Lebanon, or they live in their original country in Lebanon. It is very difficult to come to Lebanon and don't love the country and the people. So as I mentioned it, I repeat in saying that after all the clergy that helped the Pope on the altar and exited the altar, including the Vatican delegation being Cardinal Parolin, the head of the state, and the other cardinals and bishops that were with him, and the priest, the Pope stood there in front of the altar and waved and waved. And the crowds were shouting "Viva el Papa, Viva el Papa," and a good observer could tell that the Pope has left a piece of him in Lebanon.
Okay, and just what do you think is going to stand out as being the highlight of the whole trip? What memory do you think you will endure from this visit?
First of all, the hospitality. Second, I guess the beauty of the country. Third, to which extent Lebanese are together regardless of the political problems that they have between each other, and the importance of the Christian presence in this country, and the model of Lebanon in terms of dialogue of life that need to be protected in a time where there is no more repair in the world, there is no more campuses in the world. Lebanon needs to be protected as a model in this regard.
Okay, Your Excellency, thank you very much indeed for your time. Really appreciate you speaking to Arabiya English. Bishop Paul-Marwan Thabit, the Eparchal Bishop of Maronite Catholics in Canada. Thank you for your time, sir.